Okay, get the old microphone plugged in here before we start.
Okay, hopefully that sound might be a little better. We shall find out. All right. Me. So, okay, who's up? Tom Hunyadi and Woodland Goblin. What's going on, man? We are ready for a different time usually. I mean, I've been going on a lot earlier, my time, lately. Well, your time too. Been going on earlier, but this is about 7:15 p.m. 7:15 p.m. Eastern Time. Craig, aka Day Tripper. Well, did not go back yet, Tom. Just had a little setback, but hopefully that will be better in a couple of days. So here we are. Wish there was something I could do about the glare in my glasses. I really do. I have a lamp over here. I use this a Beatles lamp over here, and it gives me this lighting reflection. Oh, it's okay. It's all good, Tom. It is what it is, and it isn't what it isn't. So, and see how we do with various people on here this evening. For the next Talk More Talk, you were doing some research for the next one, eh? Oh yeah, the next topic that we have up. You know, I I have the item on DVD, and I'm pretty familiar with it. I don't think I really need to brush up on it or anything. I may do some research, but I'm kind of familiar with it. I like topics like that I'm already familiar with, obviously, that I don't have to do any research for, because those are the ones that are really involved, especially when I'm working. But Noah, hello. Well, I want to say April. I'm going to take a guess here. Let's see how well I know. April 17th, 1978. Would that be right? Because I know it's 78, and I think April the 26th. Okay. Oh, which is uh, yesterday, right? Yeah, a Wednesday. I definitely remember watching. I'll talk about it on the show. But I was 16 years old, and I was like in high school. I guess that makes me a sophomore in high school, and that was when I was really, really into it. By that time. And just like now, where we all stay tuned for, Paul's latest performance or talk show or something. That's what I tuned into it that night as a fan. So, it's going to be impossible not talking about the album, because some of the songs are from the album. But I really want to do one of those shows, another listen to the album. So, you know, I don't want to spend all of the show talking about the album, but this show. So, okay. what else can I say? Not much. I did a video on my movie channel where I talked about the Honeymooners TV show, the classic 39 episodes. I did my top 10 episodes. I love all 39 of the classic 39 to top 10. So it's impossible to narrow it down to just 10. You know, so I only know it's really like this is like the top 26 and maybe like three 36, excuse me, maybe three so-sos. What album am I talking about? Well, the thing with that Day Tripper is I don't know if it's a secret yet. I don't know at which point they wanted to talk about it, so I'll leave that up to Tom. You know, if Tom wants to say. Why was Don ramming the shopping cart in my last video? Well, I thought it was evident if you watch the video. As you may notice, I decided to take that video down. And the reason was, hello, Jill. The reason, well, Don was ramming it. Excuse me. Sorry, Jill. Yeah, that might have been a repeat. It might have been. I had it up at one. But here's the thing, Brad. I definitely had that video up at some time. But I think that I had taken it down, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but I thought I took it down and I put it back up and now I took it down again. What happened is Don was having a bad day. He went into the record store and there was a book that he wanted, a book on Marilyn Monroe, and found out the store owner Joe had sold it from him on him already, and he was pissed off and he went out and totally, I had no idea. I just happened to follow him out the door, just good timing. And outside the door, unbeknownst to me, he took his shopping cart and banged it. You know, he rammed his cart into some public property, you know, out of anger. But I just happened to just open the door and catch it. You know, if I hadn't opened the door, I never would have known. But I took the video down because I put it up this morning, and it's pretty like negative. You know, I mean, it's a negative video. It's a lot of Don carrying on and yelling and him fighting with somebody and stuff. And I noticed there were like 200 and something views. Well, it's not Ron. His name is Don with a D. Yes, he definitely is into Marilyn Monroe, and I had to edit out a lot of such dialogue, like you're saying about how much he loves Marilyn, you know, explicit dialogue. But I had like 200 and something views on it, and there were like 3 comments and like 4 likes. So I got the impression if there's like 250 views and like 3 or 4 comments, and people are not digging this and they're probably pissed. I don't know. I mean, I do what I want, you know. I mean, I put up what I want, whether people like it or not, you know. But in this particular case, I thought, why put something unpleasant up there? I don't know. I wanted to do it because there were no new record store videos. I hadn't had a new record store video in a long time because of the pandemic, so I thought a lot of people would want to see something with the record store. So I put it up there. But I took it down. Some of that footage of Don ramming his cart into public property is too much fun to never use again. But I'll use it again in some other video, maybe. I don't know. Oh yeah, that's true. I forgot about that. There was a scene where somebody was kind of giving Don a hard time, and we stood up to the guy. Yeah, that's true. I forgot about that. Yeah, see, Robert S. High says he actually felt bad for Don. You know, so you know what I'm saying, right? I, I think that's probably why I've held this footage all this time because, you know, have I heard anything from Don recently? No. Well, I don't hear from Don. You know, I don't talk to Don outside of the record store. But I haven't really heard anything from the record store owner. You know, I've contacted him. I've been in touch with him a few times, but I haven't heard anything. So, the CD, I don't really like any of the CD issues. I'm not big. Is it my friend Anthony trying to talk to me again? Sorry. I tried calling him, but he must have been busy with dinner. Anyway, the 1988. I don't really care for the 1988 or 2009 CD reissues. Well, some of them were actually 1987. Some of them, and some of them were 88. I don't know. It's hit and miss. Sometimes I'll play it. I don't. I definitely didn't like the first batch of mono releases from 1987. I definitely didn't like those very much. And 2009, I thought were hit and miss. I do. My favorite version of the White Album, though, is the 1988 two CD set. I like that release. What Tom Petty albums do I want? I am a fan of Tom Petty. I do like Tom Petty. At the moment, I'm not sure what I have. I'm pretty sure I have. I know I have Full Moon Fever. I know I have Damn the Torpedoes. I think I have the first album and the second one. And I might have Long After Dark too. I don't have all of them. Again, I got a really nice Tom Petty best of two CD set that has like a lot of everything I want on there. But what was the deal where I had to stick up for Don? There's some guy. I don't know who this guy is. This for years now. There's some guy that kind of like he's kind of like I want to say a landlord. Like he kind of gives sometimes he gives Don and his female friend Betty, a place to stay, but it's in bad condition, and he tries to act like he owns them, like he's the boss, and he controls them and stuff like that. And that's who he was fighting with in the video. Don is okay as far as I know. I put a video up this morning about Don at the record store, old footage from years ago, and I decided to take it down because it was kind of like it was just a lot of fighting and yelling and stuff. Now everybody seems to want it. This is what I mean. I put it up and I didn't get a good comment reaction, so I figured nobody wants to see this. Nobody likes this. I do not have any Joni Mitchell albums, but I hear so many good things about Joni Mitchell. A lot of people really like Joni Mitchell. I mean, I've heard some stuff I like, but I don't have any, and I'm still trying to decide. The thing about these collections is you're always trying to tweak the collection, change the collection, and I'm trying to decide. I still don't know when we get done with this pandemic. The question is, am I going to start unloading a lot of my stuff again? I'm not talking about Beatles stuff. I'm still a Beatles collector, and there's going to be certain albums by other non-Beatle artists I'm going to want. But as far as collecting all kinds of albums by everybody, I really don't know. Let's just look at a batch that I have next to me here, for example. Can't really get at them because it's too tight. I mean, I can't really get at it. Sorry. But Astros Jer, how are you there? What do I think of artists re-recording their songs for compilations? I did a rant video if you want to check it out. It really pisses me off. I do not like re-recordings of albums for compilations, especially for hits compilations. I don't like when you buy a hits compilation thinking you're going to get the original recordings and they're redone. You know. Yeah, the 2009 CD reissues. Well, the earlier albums are better on the 2009. Sure. I would take the first bunch of albums because the 2009 CD reissues are in stereo of the early albums, whereas in '87 they were in mono. Excuse me, just eight, and I'm kind of getting a little repetition on me. I am a Beach Boys fan, Lucian. I'm a Beach Boys fan of their earlier stuff, the hits. I have a lot of early albums, Surfer Girl. I don't know what they're called, Surfer Girl, Surfing USA, Surf. I don't know what the name of all of them are, but I have a lot of the early albums, and then I like them all their big early hits up until. I don't like the Pet Sounds album, though I do like God Only Knows, Sloop John B. Wouldn't it be nice? And I do like Good Vibrations. You know what I mean? I like Beach Boys, but earlier Beach Boys and Skip Pet Sounds and Smile. So Okay, rereading stuff. Astro says maybe the new Peter Jackson Get Back movie could possibly still come out. I hope things get improved in the New York, New Jersey area. I don't know. Uh, Steve, can I ask you about Egypt Station? Of course. Uh, yeah, 2020. Well, yeah, that's Matthew Street has been talking about 2020. Yeah, some people are saying the Beach Boys are still performing good. Come on. I mean, I don't know. There's two. I heard there's two kinds of Beach Boys. One with Mike Love and one with Brian Wilson. Brian Wilson. Sorry, I heard somebody say they just wheeled him up and he just sat there like a prop. I feel sorry for the guy. I mean, he's been in bad health for a long time. God bless him. But I don't think that he doesn't seem like, from what I understand, that he can really handle it. Do I like Neil Young? Yeah, I do. I'm not a big fanatic over Neil Young, but I do. I've often thought I want to get a lot more Neil Young material than I have. Whatever I have. I love the Harvest album. The Harvest album I like just about all the way through. And then there's other things I would want. Do I prefer some CDs to vinyl? Um, yeah, there are some CDs I do prefer to vinyl. Yeah, I've said Egypt Station to me. I haven't changed my opinion of it. To me, it's just an okay album. Egypt Station is a decent album. It's a decent Paul album, but I don't think it's anywhere near his best. But I don't dislike it. Yeah, I also like Matthew Street's new Paul McCartney album review series. Very good series. Hello, you're welcome when you say thank you for my time. Yeah, well, it's thank people for coming here. There's no point in being here if people don't come here. So, um, yeah. No, I haven't heard Brian Wilson sing lately, but I heard him sing in recent decades. I heard him. He was on Saturday Night Live in the '70s, and he was awful, from what I remember. But hello, DJ Reed. Yes, I definitely Tim Elliott. I definitely think "New" by Paul was a better album than Egypt Station. Just my opinion. It just was a more upbeat, more vibrant, more catchy album all around, and had a better glow to it. It just glowed, sounded new and fresh. Beach Boys, like the Beatles, where the early songs are so different from the later songs. When you think of other groups like that, if I had the time, I probably would be able to. Yeah, Ed of the King's Court, Zachary. Yeah. Well, Liam, I'm doing reviews of Elvis's movies. I'm starting at the first one, Love Me Tender, and I've already done Loving You, Jailhouse Rock, and I forget them all by now. GI Blues, King Creole. Pretty soon I'll be doing. It won't be too long before I get to Viva Las Vegas. So if you want to like wait and watch that series, I'd appreciate it. Yes, I did see the Across the Universe movie when it came out. It's a kind of movie I really wouldn't be interested ordinarily in seeing. But when it first came to DVD, we rented it. We rented it with my family. I have my nephews, my niece, I think, and my ex-wife, and we watched it. And I was surprised that I enjoyed some of the music in it. Actually, I can't remember what it was. It's been a long time, but some of the songs I actually liked. Hello, Jeff. Yep, Paul McCartney and John So Love Me Tender. Yep, in the movie theater. Uh, haven't heard anything about the upcoming Let It Be box set separately from the new film. I haven't heard anything. The status of it. I haven't heard anything about the status. Yeah, I've heard that Neil Young's album On the Beach is a good one. I can see the cover in my mind. Thank you, Jeff. Jeff says he liked my Honeymooners video. For anybody who's a fan of the Honeymooners, go over to my movie channel if you haven't joined it. If you like movies, if you like TV shows, you like entertainment besides music, but movies, TV, I'm trying to build that channel. So I'm going to promote it again here. My other channel is called Mayo's Movies, and that's simply all together one word, Mayo's Movies, no space. No apostrophe, just Mayo's movies. And if you go over there, please subscribe. I'm doing very well. I appreciate people that have gone over there. Uh, yeah. Did I ever have 8-track tapes? Back in the day, I had 8-track tapes. In the 70s, I had 8-track tapes. They always sucked. I mean, sometimes I should say sometimes the sound would be really, really good, but you had problems with 8 tracks. Sometimes you could hear songs playing in the background. You'd hear a song and then you'd hear an echo in the back of the other song on another track. And sometimes they'd break the songs up. You'd have I Am the Walrus Part 1, it would skip over, and then you have up Part 2. So they kind of, yeah, they always sucked. Do I like All in the Family? Yeah, I love that show. And again, you know, I, well, I showed all my collection on I did a video on my movie TV channel where I showed all the TV series I had, including that one. Robert S. watched my number one pick over there. Yeah, that's pretty funny. Thunderstrucks, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Uh, yes, Bradbury. Today is the anniversary, Ringo's wedding anniversary. 39 years married to Barbara Bach. I did not get the Easy Come to Easy Go. It's a long way off. I'm only up to 1960, and Easy Come Easy Go is 1967. And there's a lot of movies in the 60s. There's probably it's one of the last movies. Actually, probably like 25 movies in there or something. Uh, no, you would not get away with making a show like All in the Family today. You know, and it's sad. What I mean by that is the idea of All in the Family was to show how stupid Archie was anyway. What is I hear a noise? Hold on. It's okay. Break in the middle of a song, like you said. Yeah. I hope. Yes, I think Liam's asking me these songs again. Do you think the film quality of the new Peter Jackson film will be better than the '80s Let It Be? How do I know? I assume it was going to be better. I mean, I don't know. Did you see All in the Family and the Jeffersons live last year? Yeah, they sucked. I looked at. They did two. They did it twice. I saw it the first time. I didn't watch it the second time. They did the new one. Woody Harrelson as Woody Harrelson, trying to do Archie Bunker. Archie. I was watching Archie Bunker. For example, there he is. So one of my viewers sent me this. Would go, "Hey, wait a minute, there, meathead, huh?" Like that. And Woody Harrelson was like, "Hey, wait a minute, there, meathead, huh?" Anyway, but I'll tell you who was. I thought was it Jamie Foxx was pretty decent as George Jefferson. I thought, but and of course they chose episodes that were safe too. You know, they chose like safe episodes. Happy Monday, James Byers. Am I a deadhead? No, I don't like the Dead at all. I like four or five songs by the Grateful Dead. You'd be able to pick them. I always pick them. Yeah, the commercial ones. The ones. I'll tell you what they are: Shakedown Street, Truckin', Casey Jones, uh, Touch of Grey. I like Sugary. That's a Jerry Garcia solo, I believe. Um, Ringo's married 1 month longer than you. Well, congratulations then, Robert. Yeah, Archie Bunker's character would not be allowed on TV today. Well, I think they're still in reruns, though. See, now I love Carol O'Connor as Archie Bunker, but I'm sorry, I don't. I've seen Archie Bunker and other things, and every time I see Carol O'Connor, I just see Archie. It's like when I watch that. Sometimes I see a little bit of that TV show in the heat of the night, to me, he seems like Archie with a southern accent. Oh, wait a minute, I think we're going to have to do something about breaking the law, huh? I just can't, I can't deal with it. So that's how that goes. Uh, were the Beatles still popular when you were in high school? Yes and no. Uh, I was in high school in the late '70s to 1980, and they were pretty popular, but there were always people that said, "Well, what do you do?" I remember, I made a video on this too. I did a video about this. I remember a couple of people out there that thought that you get with the program. The Beatles broke up like 7 years ago. Kiss is where it's at now. Everything's Kiss now. Kiss, you know. So I made a video on that. He's always going to be those types of people. You know. Uh, yeah. Carol O'Connor's son. Well, he did it to himself. Anybody who's a drug addict and does themselves in with drugs, it is a shame. It is a shame. I do feel sorry, but you know, and I'm consistent because my younger sister, my baby sister, my only sibling died of overuse abuse of prescription drugs, and she knew what she was doing, and it's going to be going on. It's 9 years this year, but you play, you may pay. And I love my sister, but I'm consistent. I've always been consistent in that. I feel bad. It's a tragedy. Um, let's see. I may be skipping things because there were a lot of things on here. Uh, I don't think we should be talking too much more Astros, if that's okay, about All in the Family and the obvious problems. I agree with you, by the way, but you know. Um, would you fix the seams to a Butcher album if they're not intact? No, I wouldn't. I never fix seams with albums. But I do if I have an album that I have to have and it has like split seams, I will put it in like a clear plastic outer sleeve and just leave it in there, and that holds it together. I don't really do it. I don't glue it or anything. Um, Yeah, well, that's one thing I don't like many things about the 21st century. One thing I love is the war on smoking. I love that. I never believed in smoking, and I'm glad they've done away with smoking. Um, hello, Jorge. Yeah, it was. Of course, it was atrocious. The All in the Family Jefferson's redo. Okay, I'm reading Jerry Garcia's House and Amoeba Records. Man, it's hard to stay on top today. I mean, Kiss. There's a bunch of songs I like by Kiss. I don't know how many, 7, 8, maybe, if even that. David Catalano, thank you very much. I appreciate that you enjoyed the Talk More Talk show that we do. Sorry to hear about your cousin, Jeff Kendall. Yeah, I agree with you, Zachary. I don't know why, people drink themselves into destruction, some people. The John Lennon 1974 Tower Records commercial. As far as I know, it's just an audio commercial. I never saw a video of that. Yeah, well, it's not a box set. That's a Christmas record. That's an original first Christmas flexi disc in really very good condition. Yeah, I Was Made for Loving You is my favorite Kiss song. No surprise, perhaps. I like a good beat. I like a good tune. I like something that's singable. I like something that has a catchy chorus that's an earworm. What's not to like? And I like a lot. I like a good amount of. I said a lot of Kiss songs. I like at least half a dozen, maybe a little more. Okay. Yes, Tanner Johnson, thanks for being here. Yes, over there in the corner, you can see Astros Jer here, who's on here right now, gave me that as a gift. It took me a year or more to finally break it out. I liked it very much. The double Red Rose Speedway has never been a favorite album. It's one of my least favorite Paul albums. But people have told me listen to the double album, reconstructed album, and that it's very much better, an improvement. And I agree. I think putting Country Dreamer on there was a blessing. I think mixing some of the orders really helped. I really enjoyed that. Let's see, what else do we got? See, what's funny is I don't believe that. Hold on, let me get the question. Zachary says it's hard to believe, but they didn't know smoking was bad for you in the 70s. Yes, they did. They had the Surgeon General warning on there a long time. Even in the 60s, I remember commercials on. But the thing is about that, I never smoked because I just coughed because I got allergies. But I lived in a house with a lot of secondhand smoke, and I witnessed my an uncle and coughing, and spitting stuff up, and I said, "It's disgusting. Look it's killing this guy. Why is he smoking?" So, and I'll admit, like, of course, I need to lose weight. My weight goes up and down all the time. But the thing about that is, I'm not making excuses because you got to watch out for yourself. However, at least with eating is something we all like. It's a natural thing. People eat. You know what I mean? Now, you may eat too much. You may eat the wrong things, but the urge to eat is a natural thing. We'd be dead if we didn't eat. But smoking cigarettes is not the same thing. That's not a natural thing. Rock and roll rebel. Look, I'm here. By the way, I'm reading your comments as best I can. Just there's not always something to respond to. I haven't heard anything about Don from the record store in a while. Okay. Jeff asked me. I did my 20 favorite vampire movies video. I did that about I want to say 2014 or something like that. You know. And he wants to know there was a John Lennon poster in the video. You can see that video, my favorite top 20 vampire films, on my other channel, Mayo's Movies. Subscribe now. If you like movies and you like TV and you don't get enough Mayo, go over to Mayo's Movies, all one word, no space. And yeah, but anyway, the John Lennon poster. I think you're talking about there's a Walls and Bridges poster. It's not an original. It's not an original poster. It was a compilation made later on. You know. The original Panther movie, I don't believe I've ever seen all the way through, but I've seen some of the. I believe isn't. Oh man. Oh, isn't Peter Sellers? He's not in that one. Am I right? Um, Quiz Nights. Yes, I do like Elton John. I grew up with Elton John. In the 1970s, Elton John was like the biggest thing going, and I love most of his big songs. And I like Billy Joel also. I think Billy Joel. Some people really underrate Billy Joel. I don't know what it is about. Don't know what it is. They got a way of teasing Billy Joel, not liking him. Don't know what it is. But anyway, I think Billy Joel is really talented, good writer, good piano player and such. I think he's one of the greats from 70s and 80s and stuff. Okay. You gotta bear with me, folks. We got a lot of comments this evening. Very happy for that, by the way. We had like 75 people on here at one point. Um, yeah, I'm reading comments. Yes, James. Yes, go. My friend Matthew Street has a great channel. Check out Matthew Street channel. He's doing a great series talking about McCartney, talking about memories of buying all the McCartney albums when they were new and stuff, which is really cool. Hello, Sam. Bonjour. Um, Sir Ringo's song "Don't Hang Up, John Lalo." I'll tell you, as much as I love Ringo solo, and as much as I defend Ringo solo, I don't know "Don't Hang Up." I can't think what album that's from. Is it from Choose Love? I'm trying to think what album that's from. Or is it from Ringo Rama? Blood Vessel says it's because a lot of people don't consider Billy Joel rock. Well, I didn't know that you had to only like rock, you know? Double Fantasy vinyl, yeah, you can still get that, but mostly used, I think. Lost the audio. I hope the audio still coming through. Somebody lost the audio. The new Double Fantasy vinyl, I'm not familiar with it. Sam, you have to speak English if you're going to be here. Never listened to the song Love Letters. No. Okay. Yeah, no matter how sick Scott, he still sounded great somehow. He still sounded great even in the near the end. I have to agree with that. I got it right. Choose Love is Don't Hang Up. That's probably why I don't remember the song. Choose Love is one of my least favorite Ringo albums. It's tied for the bottom of the pile along with Old Wave. So maybe that's why I don't know it. Blood Vessel says, you know that the hardcore rock fans always snicker whenever you bring up the Piano Man. That's ridiculous. I mean, what if he's not rock? If he's pop, well, I would say that the hardcore Billy Joel fans always snicker whenever you bring up Quiet Riot. I mean, I don't understand. It's apples and oranges. What's the big deal? Yeah, I like the Four Tops, but I like Motown in general. I love Motown music. Uh, what is your opinion on disco? When disco was really hitting its stride, I was about 15. And back then, I was like a disco sucks guy. Disco's for like I don't know, girls or whatever. And now I love disco. I mean, love. I say love. I go speaking and like without thinking. I like it quite, but I like disco. I think disco. I mean, now I'm happy when I listen to Donna Summer. When I listen to Saturday Night Fever soundtrack, it brings back a lot of good memories, and it's happy, upbeat music and danceable music. A lot better than the crap we've had for the last 25, 30 years. So, what's up, Phil? What's going on tonight? Uh, how about McCartney with the Royal Philharmonic Orchestra? Nah, I don't think so. That's funny. Quiz Night says nothing wrong with having an eclectic taste. We actually got a couple of turkeys out there that think I don't like anything but the Beatles, which is always gives me a laugh. The more I hear it, the more it makes my day. Um, don't forget that Billy Joel was in the Hassles, right? And the Hassles were more rock, if I'm not mistaken. How do I feel about U2? They have a handful of songs I like, but I'm not a big U2 guy either. And that's going to be my standard answer for most, other music. Okay, that was a joke. Okay. I Feel Love. I love that song, Donna Summer. Funky Town. I love Funky Town. Funky Town is one of those songs, believe it or not. I can listen to that on a loop for like hours. You ever hear songs like that, like songs that are the same thing, it's kind of monotonous, it goes on and on, but yet you get such a groove, you can listen to that over and over for like hours. Certain songs like that, Fly Robin Fly, Get Up and Boogie, certain songs like that. Not familiar really with Sister Sledge uh, or Chic. I mean, as I always say, when I hear songs by them, is We Are Family, Sister Sledge. I mean, like I don't know, like certain things when you hear it, you know it, but you don't know. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's the thing. A lot of times you think, well, I don't really. You can't always, when you're offending a lot of comments here. When you're trying to keep current. One thing I like that I do, if I say so myself, is when I do these chats, I try to keep up with. We don't fall too behind. A lot of that helps because I've only got anywhere from like 20 to people. But when you have like hundreds of people, if I've never had that, it could be a problem. All right. How many cool copies of Rubber Soul do I own? Probably about four or five. You know. Sorry if I missed stuff because, yeah, I remember the Disco Sucks T-shirts. I didn't have one, but I would have bought one back then. You know. John Alelo, I had no interest in the Yellow Submarine sing along. Actually, I was rearranging my sock drawer at the time that it was on. No, I'm just kidding, but I wasn't interested. Um, have I ever seen a musical artist before they became famous? Oh, geez. I feel like I have, but I can't think of who. Nah, maybe not. All right. Yeah, I saw the picture melted. The picture melted on my end too. Ew. Okay, whatever. Maybe somebody's trying to melt me out there. Am I going to get the Canadian marble pressing of Sergeant Pepper's? No. There's just so many different colored vinyls, so many different kinds. I mean, I do collect multiple copies of stuff, but you can't have everything. I know my late sister, who loved Twisted Sister before they were anybody. She used to go to the clubs and see Twisted Sister before they became famous. Okay, used to walk by Ed Sheeran when he was busking. I only knew of Ed Sheeran when I watched the Yesterday movie. I didn't heard of him before that. I don't think. Yeah, I've said this before. I probably even said. I think I even said it in this chat. I think that We'll see what I do after the pandemic about unloading some stuff. I think. Interesting comments. Interesting comments. It's nice when I get a break, but I don't have to answer comments. I can just read. No, I really don't know enough by Quiet Riot, honestly. I really don't. I think I just know Come On Feel the Noise, which I think is them. I don't really know enough by them. What's my favorite bubblegum group? Um, I like the 910 Fruit Company, some of their stuff. Um, I like some Partridge Family stuff, you know. Um, Off the top of my head. Hello, Richard Dolan. 1910 Fruit Gum Company. Did I say that right? The Ohio Players. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember getting them mixed up. The Buddha Records, the ones that made a lot of Buddha record singles. No, I never bothered with the UHQR vinyl. I don't even know what it is, actually. Why did I sell my first collection? Because I got into CDs. I got into CDs in 1986, and CDs were so great. I still believe they're great. That back then I said I don't need this shit. Vinyl was it was big. It was big. It was hard to take with you. You couldn't play it in the car. You had to flip the album over. Keep them clean. So I got rid of all my vinyl, and then that was from 1986, and then around 2011 I started liking vinyl again. So I went from 25 years. Ultra high quality vinyl. Well, I don't know what that is as far as a brand. I don't know. Well, now I believe that vinyl will never go away. Back in 1986, 1990, around 1989 and 90, believe it or not, it was like hard to get vinyl. Everything would come out on CD. Like new albums, like say Paul McCartney, "Flowers in the Dirt." I had to buy it on CD first. I'm sorry, I'm saying it backwards. Scratch what I just said. Forget it. uh, it took a while for CD to come into its own. Is what I mean. You still had to buy the vinyl first, and then wait for the CD to come out. But pretty soon it changed the other way around. You couldn't find the vinyl. Yes, Richard, I got that message from you while I was doing my chat. Richard, your message popped up on the top, and it said he just listened to the song "Isolation," the John Lennon song. I love it. It's a great song from a great album. Oh yeah, I also like the Osmonds. Speaking of, you know, bubblegum, if you want to call them bubblegum. Okay, what else do we have? Yeah, vinyl is the trendy thing to get right now. What's the word I'm looking for? Hipsters. A lot of hipsters. Yeah, well, early CDs did not sound good. You're right. Then they sounded pretty good. They got better, and then, as you say, the loudness wars came in, which is even worse. Uh, so, well, it's hard to say, Steve. Like again, it's so embarrassing because when people ask me, "Do you like the Raspberries?" I don't know. I like "Go All the Way," and I'm sure there's a couple of other songs, but I don't know most more songs really. So, no, I did not hear "Isolation" by Johnny Depp. I'm not interested. I know it's a new thing. I've heard about it, but I'm just not interested. Yeah, sometimes, Zachary, I do find that some new vinyl is actually quiet and they do a better job. But then there's other new vinyl I've played. I'm sure you all have the same experience with new vinyl. Some of it's more crackly and poppy. But sometimes I hear new vinyl that's better. It depends, you know. Yes, yes, yes. Richard Dolan is giving away a day in the life T-shirts. Yes, yes, no. I don't want to get into that. I know Richard's not fond of that song, as is his right. Hello, Kenneth. Josh, yes, Lennon Legend was a great compilation. I have not heard anything, John Alelo, about releasing Beatles at Shea Stadium, Atlanta, and Houston. Haven't heard anything about that. Yeah, some new vinyl has bad quality control, but you probably heard what was the factory that burned down or something that makes vinyl of the lacquer, whatever it is, something along the process. Before the pandemic, this happened. People were wondering between the factory of vinyl burning down or whatever went wrong with whatever happened to it. I don't know exactly. Between that and the pandemic, I'm a little concerned. Many people find Crazy Horses by the albums embarrassing. Do you think people would like it better if it was done? I don't know Crazy Horses. I like some Osmonds, but it's not very extensive. Mastering plant, the mastering plant, vinyl mastering plant. Oh, Zachary, I certainly hope that's right. No, Stephen, I skipped over the Yellow Submarine sing along. First, I rearranged my sock drawer, and then I washed my hair. So I didn't have time for the Yellow Submarine sing along. I just wasn't interested. Um, do I think we'll have Record Store Day this year? At this point, I'm thinking no. They moved it to June 20th, but I don't think that's late enough. I hope I'm wrong, but we'll see what the next couple of months bring. This is true. I would agree with you, Zachary. I know we're getting back to politics again a little bit. Uh, let's see, what else do we have here? Richard Dolan is starting to become a fan of John's solo career. That's pretty cool. Pretty cool. A lot of personal songs like that you can relate to, maybe. Okay, I'm reading comments. Don't have things to say. Josh says, for example, Josh says, I used to keep things sealed and then open them all in one day. Haha. And then I'll sit there and I say, okay, Josh, like, I mean, I appreciate the comments, but just so you know, like, there's not always something to say. You can't always respond to everything. Yeah. No Ringo introduction for that Yellow Submarine sing along. Bummer, Steve Durda says. And actually, that's all I'd be interested in. If I was tuning in, all I would care about was Ringo's introduction or outroduction. I wouldn't care about. I can watch the movie anytime. I'm not really. I don't know. Do I plan on getting the Stones single on vinyl? I don't really know because I was just talking about again, like maybe cutting down buying non-essential vinyl. For me, essential for me. John Alelo, I heard that we will be getting a John Lennon Plastic Ono Band deluxe set this year, but I haven't heard anything else. I'm having a good time back at work. I have not gone back to work yet, but I expect to shortly. Yeah, well, Plastic Ono Band is one of the most honest. Well, it's the most honest raw album I ever heard, and I always tell a story of when I first heard it. I didn't know what to expect. I was 15 years old, perfect age. I was having my share of high school issues, growing up issues, teenage angst problems, off and on, like we all have. And I listened to it in a dark room. I had a bedroom and a porch, and it was dark at night. and I had the headphones on. I listened to Plastic Ono Band, sat on my bed, edge of my bed, listened with the headphones. It was dark, and the windows were open at night, and the moonlight was there. And that's how I first heard Plastic Ono Band. And I also had the lyric sheet, though. There was just enough moonlight coming through. Didn't need glasses back then in those days. I didn't have the glasses. And I would just enough light that I could read the lyric sheet. I went to listen to the whole album and I was blown away by it. It's the most religious, amazing first impression I ever had listening to an album. So, record store day this year. Well, just the reissue of with the new mix, 45 of Instant Karma, the Lennon single was going to be reissued, and McCartney's McCartney album again on a half-speed master. I mean, I don't know, but don't forget, I collect that stuff. I want to have just it's like collecting stamps when it comes to Beatles stuff. So. Would I be happy just keeping my Beatles vinyl and CDs? Well, that's the thing, Steve. I don't think so. A lot of people think all you care about is the Beatles, but like I've said many times before, I don't play the Beatles every day. I can't. I don't. I go months, years without playing certain Beatles stuff. I play a lot of solo stuff. If I'm in the mood, say I want to hear some Beatles stuff, I'll play a George Harrison album or Ringo or Paul or John. Because I'm not as you know what burnt out on those. Um, but anyway, so I like to have other stuff. Most of the time when I'm driving in the car, I'll put something else on CD player, not non-Beatles. Um, but I may get rid of a lot of non-Beatles vinyl, but I will keep non-Beatles CDs though. So. Oh, don't say that, Zachary, because if they made a having fun on stage with Paul McCartney similar to the having fun with Elvis on stage album, then I'd be stuck having to buy it as a completist. So, you know, don't want that to happen if I can help it. Any albums that I hated but eventually learned to love? Well, I mean, I didn't like McCartney 2 when I first heard it in 1980. After a few listens, I now love it. But that happened in 1980. It didn't take decades. It happened right then. Um, and they were sure, but can't really think of it. There's the album McGear. It's a Mike McCartney album. Uh, I didn't like McGear, and I played it the second time. I'm like, but I like this. So, but it hasn't worked for Pet Sounds. I heard Pet Sounds 3 times, and I still don't like. I'm not going to listen 100 times. So forget Pet Sounds. Not going to happen. Press to play, never. You know, um, I played that at least 10 to 12 times in 33 years, 34 years, and yeah, I know. That's why I can't imagine Record Store Day happening this year. I can't imagine it, or at least not in June. Maybe September or September, October. Any new artists on my radar? Nope. No, I'm not big artists. But whenever Elton comes out with another album, I'll buy her album, her new album. These days, it takes people 5 years to put out an album. So Record Store Day mail-in is not Record Store Day. The whole idea of Record Store Day is to go and support your local record shops, so independent record shops. So that would suck if you couldn't do that. Yes, May Pang is still alive. Yes. Where is Paul McCartney these days, and how can we meet him? Well, these days he's in Sussex in England, so it's pretty far from where I am anyway. I don't know about you. Yeah, I like the new Rolling Stones song, but it does sound to me a little like Harlem Shuffle. It sounds similar to that. But I like it. It's the best Stones song I've heard since Mixed Emotions. So that's my opinion of it. I'm glad you liked the Don video, Richard. I'm glad you got a chance to see it, but I got rid of it because I just thought it was a little unpleasant. So I said, nah, take it out. Mark and Ed, you're in Long Island. Yeah, I'm not in Long Island, so it doesn't help me any. I don't know where you could meet him on Long Island. Yes, Great Hall. I've seen that photo. There's a new photo that emerged on 1959 of John, Paul, and George. By the way, it's in that order: John, Paul, George. uh, it's pretty good. I actually heard a couple of songs, the first two singles off the Who album. They weren't bad, but I have no interest. I hear the new Who album is very good, but I did like the first two, and I didn't think much of it. No, I don't. A lot of people think that's where I live, but I don't. I travel there. I hang out there a lot. You got friends there and some family. I don't know what the deal. What I don't really get into Don talking about Don too much. He chooses a life for himself, and that's the path he wants. So good luck to him. Let's see. How do you like Sir Paul's song "Wine"? I like the song "Wine Dark, Open Sea." I like that quite a bit. You're right. I like the album Off the Ground that it's on. I think Off the Ground is Paul's most underrated album. That and Back to the Egg. But at least in the case of Back to the Egg is getting a little bit more recognition. I'm finding out a lot of people seem to like Back to the Egg lately, and hopefully it's going to be getting to the point where we will get one of those archive deluxe editions. I don't think it's the weakest song on the album, though, in my opinion. Uh, I do like Good Night Tonight. Yeah, that's I do like that certainly. Is Anthony okay? For people that are asking, my friend Anthony got the COVID-19 coronavirus, but he didn't really have that bad symptoms to begin with. Then he got tested, he got it, they gave him antibiotics, and he feels great now. So thank goodness for that. Yeah, I love the song Hope of Deliverance. It should have been a big hit single. I have not seen the documentary Record Safari. I did not see that. Does my record store do mail order? I know they used to say they really didn't mess around with mail order much, but I think now they might be. You know, that's a good point. I think nobody's a doctor. You're a doctor, right? Nobody. But no, I'm not being insulting. Based on what you've told me, I think you might be a doctor. He told me he used the word antibiotics. I guess he meant antivirals, but they gave him something. I don't know. I agree with Robert S. Good Night Tonight should have been on the Back to the Egg album, but you know. Thank you, Stephen. It's all good. Thank you for tuning in. I'm glad you love the Dawn video, Stephanie. Everybody's telling me they love the Dawn video, and I went and took it down because I wasn't getting much response. And I figured, if 300 people watch a video and like 4 people comment and 6 people like, that they don't dig it. So I said, and that doesn't mean I always take. I gotta say, I said that before. It doesn't mean I always take down videos just because people don't like them. I got plenty of videos up still for years that don't get many looks, but I want to keep them up. Depends what the video is. I just figured it was kind of like too unpleasant of a video, so I took it down. I'm not a fan, Gary, of the Love CD of the Beatles. Just not a fan. I mean, the album. I mean, I'm not. I never saw the show. I think I would like the show, but as a standalone album, I don't care to play the album. I like the song Daytime Nighttime Suffering as well. Yeah. Best McCartney B-side. There are way too many of them, but the first one always comes to my mind is "Oh Woman, Oh Why" and "Sally G." Those are the first two. And Girls School and "I'll Give You a Ring" and "Country Dreamer" and here we go. They go on and on. Okay, outdoor. The two of us jam and Let It Be is a lot of fun. That's a good moment from the original Let It Be movie. Okay, folks. On that note, I'm going to call this a day or a night. Thank you, everybody, for being here. This has been a really good chat. You never know when I'll do it again, so if you just kind of hit the notification button, I think you'll be alerted to when I do one. So thank you, everybody, for being here and watching the last comments of the goodbyes, and talk to you all soon.